Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Marcus Aurelius, and this is Dominions 4, The Thrones of Ascension, Byzantine Pythium. I hope everyone is doing well. I wanted to quickly go over something before we get started playing in earnest, and that is the topic of naming. As those of you who follow my comments know, I have a lot of people on the waitlist. Currently, there are about 40 of them, plus or minus one or two. And some people have, asked comments wondering where their guy is or how come they were passed up for somebody else. So I want to kind of go into my methodology, and this is for you so that you can determine what you want to do to improve your chances of being named or being named more quickly. So I give people the option to decide who they want to be, and that is a benefit, but it's also kind of a curse, because let's say you are like my good friend Eurus. Eurus would like to be a legatus legionis, and as you see here, I have a ton of commanders but no troops, and so while eventually I hope to have many armies led by legatus legioni, right now it is just not the wisest investment, especially because I'm just two shakes of a lamb's tail away from being defeated in this game. I'm still hardly making any money. So poor Eurus is being passed up by other people who are less picky, who don't care what they are or want to be something else of which I need, such as an alchemist or a theurg or a lizard, for example. So the way my list works is that it's in strict order of appearance. So the person who's first on the list goes first, and the person who is second, and so on and so forth. However, if you suggest something specific that you want, and I need something else before that, the person who is under you, who selected that, or who selected anything, will go ahead of you. Okay? So that's unfortunate, and it means that some people are going to get in faster than others, but I'm doing it for you because I want you to be the kind of unit that you want to be. So moving forward from this video, and feel free to comment in the comment section of this video, which I believe is going to be number 19, if you are on the list, and you know if you are, because if you ask for a named commander, you are on the list, trust me. If it's one thing I do well, it's keep good notes. You can change your desire. You could say, hey, you know what? I know I said I wanted to be a Varangian commander, but I noticed you're not getting a lot of those guys, and you're getting a lot more mages. So you know what? Let me be a mage. And just so you know, the people who say they'll be anything, I take that to mean they'll be anything cool, like someone who's going to be in battle, like a summoned creature, a commander, or a mage. I do not take that to mean literally anything, like a researcher, a forager, somebody who's never going to do anything. However, if you want to be someone who's never going to do anything, by all means say so, and I can name you immediately. Just like I did for my good friend Giatros, who sadly is now going to be doing something. Sorry, Giatros. But I also have another little naming snafu. I asked in my last video if anybody wanted to be the chief alchemist, and as I checked the comments to the video, I noticed that a new friend, who we have yet to meet, named Pythium Mineski, desired that position. And I said, well, Pythium, you are the only one who wants that position. It is going to be a sit-at-home and research position. No one wants it, so it's yours. But then I checked my Gmail, and I noticed that another good friend of mine, Colonial, earlier than Pythium, asked if he could have the position. But since I looked at my YouTube comments first, there you go. And you see my dilemma. So here is what I have done. Because I promised the position of Chief Alchemist to Pythium, hello Pythium, is now the Chief Alchemist. However, I was fortunate enough to also in the same turn recruit another alchemist with the fortuitous 3 paths, and he is now Colonial. And Colonial, while not the Chief Alchemist, is my Magistros. I looked in my big book of Byzantine titles, and a Magistros is a very important position in the history of Byzantium. In fact, in the early history of Byzantium, the Magistros was one of the most important administrative positions. Now, in the 10th century, it kind of lost some importance, and there were 12 of them, of which one, the most powerful, was known as the Proto-Magistros. But it was still a very high honor and only rarely awarded, again, until the 10th century. So, Colonial, you are my Magistros, and what that means is you are the representative, the direct representative of Emperor Burnsaber in the College of Alchemists, whereas Pythium is the chief alchemist, but not necessarily connected to the upper bureaucracy of Pythium. So, I like the sound of that, and we're going to stick with that. So what else is going on? Well, I've lost a lot of slaves. Too many, really. So I've taken everyone off casting slave or master. The two slaves here, lizards, they're just going to be casting protection and ethereal and doing their thing. And then I have Bob here, who's coming to join as well. But frankly, I am not going to let any more slaves die. I'm going to wait till I have a substantial number of them, 8 to 10, which will probably come after I take this castle. And if I take this castle, I need troops right now, really, more than I need slaves. And I'll also have, at that time, the methodology by which I can have them reinvigorated and regenerated so that my slaves will last a lot longer. That's my plan there, because not only is losing slaves lame because they die, but it also hurts my overall effort because now Burnsaber can't cast Fanaticism, and none of my air mages can cast Thunderstrike, so I've taken them down to Paralyze. But even the guys who are paralyzing can't paralyze as well because they don't have the strength that they gained from the communion. So in general, my entire mage corps has been hit pretty hard here, and they will be nowhere near as effective as they were because of my lack of slaves and my cavalier disposition towards letting them die in battle. So that is a problem, but is one hopefully that we will solve. My next intention is to spend some of these gems here to get some summonable troops. Hopefully after I take this castle so I can summon them right here in the front. I basically just need people to stand in front and get killed while my mages do their thing, and hiring human beings to do that is very expensive and sad. So I'm hopefully going to be researching and summoning whatever summonable creature is basically the cheapest bang for my buck. I don't expect them to be world beaters, I just expect them to soak up some hits so that my mages can get prepped and launch deadly fire from the sky. And I believe we are good to go. I think everybody is doing what needs to be done of them. Pythius, I guess you could research. You don't need to hide. You can't research, of course, because we do not have a temple, so you'll continue to hide. I guess that's just fine. And all of you guys are going to sit still. That's true, although I would like to move them up. You're going to stay here. Tolmac, yeah, you're all defending as well. Though someone's dominion is overpowering mine, and I believe it's Ulm's. Definitely not Ermor's. You are not mine. So I guess there's nothing stopping all of you guys from preaching. Except Tolmac's the only one who can actually do anything with it. But whatever. I mean, either way, they'll defend if it gets attacked. Not a problem. Okay. Alright, well I think we're in good shape. We have some interesting battles to see what's going on here, and that is going to be something. So hopefully we can get Sceleria out of our lands. That would be quite nice, since they're now taking production capability away from my capital, and the poor lands around my capital have seen such devastation recently. No dark knowledge. Ashdod. Their prophet died. Did I do that? I'm not sure. Ivan Mark. They're trying again to wrest control from me, and they are not going to succeed. But let's see how my troops do now without their super-powered communion. My guess is not so well, though I do have 2 new gnomes. Let me introduce them. They are, of course, unnamed because nobody besides Yeknotimus wants to be a gnome, although I did let Nilex be a gnome, and he will be a super gnome as soon as I can get him some items, like Glauchon here. So Glauchon and Nilex are my named gnomes, and as a result, they get cool toys. Ganglier and Panic Guy are not, so they don't get cool toys. That's how that goes. But I just kind of want to watch here and see what happens in the absence of my communion. That was Declonius shooting that arrow. It missed, but it was pretty far, so can't blame him. And I think that's him too. That's Declonius right there, and he's shooting again. Yeah, so we're back to fireflies, huh? Blade Wind didn't do much. Paralyze didn't do much. So really, without our communions, our mages are not especially scary. In fact, maybe buffing my troops is the best they can do. Burnsaber can Thunderstrike, since he's a level 3 natural mage. And we can destroy their armor, which we did. So, success! Now if we can only hit them with anything. Ah, and he's paralyzed now. I do not know if armor affects paralyzation, but... Yep. Careful there, Burnsaber. And we lost a Varangian to that. Wonderful. We're definitely more set up to fight large armies than tiny ones. But, oh, here comes a fire elemental. That's fun. Let's see how that goes. And that he just took out 3 Varangians. Yikes. I think those were Burnsabers. What are you doing, Barbell? Oh, you know what? He's probably running to the front because there's not that many troops for him to horn. There we go. Yeah, he's going after that guy. And we took out the fire elemental. Hooray. Barbell is doing his thing, and okay, I mean, let's just be honest. We're not going to take anything much more difficult than what was just thrown at us. And even then, we lost a Varangian to the fire elemental. So let's just hope that we stay. I might have to move those troops from down south up a little bit. Who knows? Alright, we have a little force of Sceleria versus a little force of Marignon. I don't care that much. Oops. Well, apparently we beat Sceleria in the Great Feral, but Marignon lost to Sceleria. Okay, yeah, I kind of expected to win this. This is my force coming down from the throne, and there's really nothing here going against us. So, we didn't lose a thing, but let's see here. This is the big battle. This is the one with Giatros and, I believe, Opal Warrior. And you can see they have their Vestals in training, guarding them, of course. Wink, wink. And, oh, this is annoying. Let's move up here, okay. So we appear to be fighting a lot of undead. That's potentially a problem. But Giatros can vanish, and that's why I brought him along, hoping that would be useful, and it has proven so far to be useful. And for some reason, my slaves are fleeing, which means that oh, it was General Wallace, not Opal Warrior, but General Wallace, why are you fleeing? You have plenty of morale. Oh, you're fighting a phantasmal... Wait, who? What? Okay. Not a problem. Everyone survived. Yikes. Weird. Gorillion. I don't care. Sceleria lost 81 units to Marignon's 35, so Marignon was victorious. Let's just take a look at where Gorillion is. No. Have I ever played this game before? Okay, that's Gorillion. Alright, wonderful. Ephesibor. Oh, Ashdod's attacking me in my Scalarian defense province. Interesting. I don't think you're going to do too well, actually. Who are you? Crazy Man? I'd kind of like you to be more in the back, I think. But we have alchemists here with their alchemist's fire. That doesn't, unfortunately, hurt these Bashanites. But it does give them poison, which I dig. When it's not killing our own guys. And wow, they are pretty resistant to javelins. I think gnomes casting destruction are pretty much de rigueur for our remaining battles against these giants. And interesting to note, all of our Vestals have the exact same hairstyle. I guess there's not a lot of individuality in the Vestal Academy. Is there an academy? I don't know. Take out the Ahiman Anakite, please, somebody. Darn it. Well, we hit him a few times anyway. We ended up losing 2 Vestals and a Velite. We took out 9 of them, so there's not much for them they're probably going to get taken over by Oceania, who is mounting a surprisingly effective offensive against Ashdod to the north of me. Sceleria is trying again to take Marignon's capital. Well, I don't know if it's their capital, but it's their castle anyway. At least Marignon is fighting now with living, breathing people instead of hordes of undead, which is, frankly, very disconcerting. I mean, that they were fighting with hordes of undead, not they are now fighting with people. And the drakes are a useful tool, but they are very situational. And I don't know if necessarily if they're doing more good than harm here. Let's see. Marignon, they lost 88, Sceleria. Marignon lost 34. 24 flagellants, and I bet the majority of them to Dragonfire, so yeah, there you are. Ooh, let's look at the arena. That's always fun. Ermor is attacking Ulm, and who do we have here? Ulm, since their beautiful and wonderful hero was destroyed in the last arena match, is now sending plain old Ruprecht, a commander with only one arm. So apparently they're going all out. Then we have Junud, the Prophet of Sceleria. He is a hero with heroic toughness, which gives him increased hit points, and boy does he have a lot. He has regeneration and fear and ethereal, and yeah. Sceleria has water magic, earth magic. Is protection nature magic? No. HP is nature magic. Protection is... Undying is death magic, which they have a ton of. Protection is... I don't know what the heck protection is, actually. It's got to be one of them, right? It's got to be water's defense, fire's attack. Nature is hit points. Earth is reinvig. Maybe earth is protection and reinvig. Astral is magic resistance. I didn't even see who won. Did you? Must have been, oh, that was Ermor, not Sceleria. It must have been Ermor because they're fighting in another arena battle. Sorry, I get distracted sometimes thinking about stuff. Like, for example, what a different bless is. And it looks like Fundy, the paladin, took out... that's actually kind of a funny name because in America we have these people that we call Fundies who are very religious. So a paladin named Fundy is actually quite appropriate. And in this context, Fundy is short for fundamentalist. Okay, so we have Raphael, the Rephaite commander. That's also a pretty appropriate and alliterative name. Versus our old friend, the prophet Junud. I'd rather see Junud die, personally, but yeah, doesn't look like that's going to happen. Skele spammers are pretty OP in a deathmatch battle because your opponent won't even get to you. So I think that's kind of cheating. I think we should reset up these death matches so they're actual death matches and you can't summon buddies. But Ashdod is done. So now it's Oceania versus Marignon. So we have our friend Fundy versus Dona. I remember Dona. We saw him earlier in a battle at some point. And they're hitting each other, they're hurting each other, but eventually Fundy wins out. So now we have Fundy versus Junud. And as much as I support Marignon, my little brother, I guess, Junud is going to tear him a new one. I can pretty much guarantee. Oh, but Fundy can vanish, huh? Not fast enough, it doesn't look like, though. Nope. So Junud, the Prophet of Ermor, was the winner of the arena deathmatch. And if the winner actually received something besides like a worthless item, I would be sad about that. But oh, thank you. Thank you. This is exactly what we need. We took out a sneaking enemy of Ashdod. We're starting to destroy the gate in the fort. I know we're not doing any better than that because we have nobody there. And Sceleria, we're going to meet everybody together here, except for Giatros. Giatros, you have done your good deed. Thank you so much. Go back home, study. Opal, Maurice, Erlance, and Osilochos So Maurice and Ocelotos are old and are going to die soon, so they're not named, but Erdlance is one of our heroes. They're going to try to do some negative things to Sceleria around here. Bob is going to attempt to move to the castle. He will, successfully. Looks like Oceania has pulled back a little bit from their assault. And they have... What do you have here? You have... wolves and archers, huh? Well, you know what? Frankly, we saw my army. We saw how craptacular they were. So, even if it means losing this province, we'll bump up the defense a little bit. Oh, not a lot, though. But they need to be here. Now, the question is, do the buggies have their bug spells set up? And they do. Okay. So in that case, we're in good shape. I just have to make sure that our buggies are near the front. And I do have them etherealing themselves, so... Oh, whoops, I pushed the wrong button, I guess. I want to do Y. There we go. Y, if you'll recall, shows you not only the troops that are in the province, but all the ones that are going there as well. And buggies, yeah, let's put him right there, I guess. Okay, yeah, I wish I could move Fangolwolf's troops into the ranks of the other troops, but I cannot until next turn. Fangolwolf, you're a little too close for comfort here. Let's put you back here. Okay, so now the Emperor's bodyguard has taken his rightful place next to the Emperor. That is appropriate. Did we recruit anything here? Yeah, we did. And good. Because I'm taking this place for granted. One of these days, Sceleria is just going to open up a can of whoop on me, and it's not going to be pretty. You know, we could, but I'm not going to. I was going to produce a lab, but all my money is necessary for producing troops, who I will be producing. Vestals, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And are you surprised? Down here. Down here. Alright, Eurus. We'll put you in. You're not that expensive. You're 110 gold, which is the equivalent of a lot of troops, but we're just not going to think about that. We still have gold to go, even with hiring these guys. And I am going to transition to hiring those guys because they are good against the undead. And why are you guys just sitting around here? That's probably a bad idea. Oh, and we have many lizards. Okay, so you're going to go here. But Ashara, I have a special objective for you. You're going to hang out. We're going to hire some lizards. Why? Because Xerxes is the king of the lizards, and he needs some lizard bodyguards, and they're cheap. So 10 of them, not a big deal. And then Ashara will send them up to him. Procus, I was told you can forge me crystal matrices, CCs. Can you do that for me? You certainly can. What does that cost? Done. Alright, so now one of my gnomes is going to be joining my communions, and that will be good, and all will be well. And thank you, Procus. I knew I hired you for something, and that something was research, but now you can do other things. Colonial, you are going to research for the moment too. Yagnotimus, I moved him here because he was precarious here, and I figured I could use him to summon and do things. But right now, just research because I'm focusing on that, which we're not quite there yet. We're not quite there yet. Next turn. But I don't want to do anything that takes fire gems. What can you do with nature gems? You could forge me a thistle mace, which is very useful. You could forge a vine shield from my archangel when he arrives, which is very useful. That is also very useful, but it's earth. You mistletoe garland, give people luck. Okay. More stealth. Earth boots with earth, okay. Ah, regeneration and reinvigoration, both very useful things. As well as food, for when we eventually need that. Okay, so those are the items that you can forge. That's great. But now, I need to find out what you can summon. So let's see here. Leogryphs, as we've seen, are expensive at 12 gems and not particularly useful. Manticores at 5 gems are a bit more reasonable, but you only get one at a time. Cave Drake at 3 Earth Gems is pretty reasonable as well, and he doesn't spit fire that will kill my own people, which is wonderful. If I could get a Thistle Mace on him, he can summon a Kitharionic Lion, which is actually a great unit, but it's 3 Nature Gems, you only get 1 at a time. Some Earth Boots will let him summon Trolls, which are way too expensive. Forest Trolls, also expensive, but well, yeah, pretty expensive for what you get. Sleepers are pretty cheap for what you get, but again, commanders are not what we need right now. Vine Ogres, 2 for 3 Nature Gems is pretty decent. They have no protection to speak of, but they do have a lot of hit points. Crushers would definitely be helpful, though. Well, 15, wow, really? They're that expensive? These are only 5. Alright, well, let's focus on getting Yagnodamus up to snuff in terms of being able to cast the good stuff. Meanwhile, do we have somebody who can forge a Hammer of Dwarvenness? Well, probably Yagnodamus. Forge Earth, can you do that? No, you cannot. Alright, so you need 2 Earth, so that means Yagnodamus will do that next turn. And, well, I guess you can do it now. No, that's a Smasher. I guess maybe you need 3? Maybe you need 3. Or maybe it's level 6 of research. So you'll continue to forge a Mace of Thistleness. And meanwhile, that's all she wrote. I guess I could spend Water Gems. Can you summon anything, Thunder? Ooh, who are you? You are the Icon of Uriel. You are a weapon, which does 6 magic and fire damage, armor piercing, +3 versus undead demons, but you cost fire gems, and so, no, I am not spending any fire gems until I have my Archangel. Frostbrand is always good for the Archangel. Barakiel, Air Shield, and Luck, which I want for eventually for all my mages, but right now I need more pressing items. Icon of Cialtiel. Now, this is one of my complaints of the way Burnsaber put this mod together, is that all the icons cannot necessarily be produced by the people who are supposed to, the artisans, because sometimes you need 2 in some of these paths. So instead, I have to use people who suck at forging to forge things, while the guys that are good at forging can't forge them because they're not strong enough. I guess that happens. But what this does is it casts a spell called Power of the Spears at the beginning of the battle, which I believe raises all of the magical might. Okay, so Power of the Spears, it's not for everyone, but just the user, but it gives them a huge malice to attack, strength, and precision, but it does give a research bonus of 4 at a cost of 10 or 9 if one of my, well, 10, because none of my guys can do it. Also, we have a Thunderbow, which is very useful, and a Staff of Corrosion, which is very useful, but I need another Harbinger. So air gems are kind of sacrosanct too. I need to spend either water gems or astral gems. Earth gems are okay, I suppose. Icon of Gabriel. Quicken Self. The usefulness of this would be to give to a commander with a bow, as he can fire twice in 1 turn instead of just once. And a mage, it's useless because mages can only cast 1 spell per turn, no matter what. Crown of Command is always good, gives inspiration, but not as good as the Fire Helm that gives 2. I was thinking of this to give a temporary fire gem to all of my fire casters, let them cast some of the cooler fire spells. We've seen this already, it helps with research. Sorry this isn't that exciting, you guys, but I'm just trying to figure out what items my guys can cast, because I do have quite a few gems. But for right now, we're just going to sit pretty with the Thistle Mace, and... Oops, no, don't want to do that. And do I want to move around any of my scouts? Appears to be quite well... Holy moly cow. Alright, so Ashdod, they do have a lot of castles. They all happen to be right next to each other. And either one of these two could be their capital. I'm not sure which it is. But, yeah. Marius is in trouble. He has 50 scouting. But well organized here. I'm sure the castles are well organized. I'm not sure what to do, really. I'll keep him moving, just because when I keep them static, they tend to die, but yikes. And I think I have another one around here somewhere. There he is. Nope, that's not mine, that's Marignon's. Ah, here he is. Collector. Few henchmen. You know what? You're going to stay where you are. That's fine. Polydoros. That's my boy. Look at all these troops. Gosh, it's almost as if they're planning on attacking me, isn't it? They wouldn't do that. They're nice little undead. Okay. Alright, well, all my hopes and dreams are centered upon this province, so let's see how that goes. Next turn, I know this is going overtime, but next turn we are going to witness an Archangel. So I think that's kind of fun. Actually, we may not, because it'll be the turn after this next turn, because I'm going to cast it. You all may have to wait another episode to see an Archangel, because I don't want this to go like 40 minutes, because it'll take me forever to encode it. But we'll look at the battles. And Cyrna. I'm not really too concerned about this. Marignan has a lot of guys. They don't. Marignan wins. Hooray. Pernia. Marignan wins? Perhaps? Rivia. Their capital. Holy moly. 71. Marignan loses. Sceleria wants that really bad. And no matter what I did, Marius was discovered and attacked, and he is now dead. Poor Marius. He never got to meet his Cosette. And Ivermark, still being destroyed. You know what this tells me is they have a ton of giants in there. Just a ton. So that's going to be good. Quickly, but one thing I'm going to do before I quit is I'm going to get my troops all together. All together now, all together now, all together now, together now. Okay. And Fangolwolf, you're just going to cast your spells. You don't need to be leading troops because King Midas is better at it than you are, unfortunately. However, you look more dashing on your armored horse. Meanwhile, who are you? Buggies? Wow. What happened? Oh, because I moved everybody. I moved everybody back. I'm like, why are you all of a sudden in the front? Probably a bad idea. So, let's fix that. Buggy 3. Back here. Buggy 2. Here. And Archelestrios, you can be back here. Ashembe, you're going to protect people, so let's put you next to Fangolwolf, you can protect him. Bob is just going to hang out here and chat. I'm not going to use him as a slave because I don't want his mind to explode right away. I want to at least let him get to know people first. And what do you do? Your protection too. Oh, not you. Where'd you go? Hasipu, you're doing luck, huh? Alright. I think my vessels could use some luck. Alright. So we definitely have a pretty sizable force here. Not so much in troops, but we now have some decent troops. And look at this. Supply usage 40 because of all my nature mages. So I don't have to worry about supply items. Even if this was a dead wasteland like Ermor, where there's just nothing growing and 0 supplies, these guys, this army as it currently stands, can still handle 40 guys before they start going hungry, which is awesome. So, alright, ladies and gents, I am going to be moving this force under General Wallace and Opal Warrior and Maurice and Erlance and Orsilochos down here because they have 30 units here, plus province defense. Do I have what it takes? I don't think I do, honestly. Alright, so maybe I'm not going to do that. Maybe I'm instead going to just patrol the province. And wonderful. Well, thank you so much for watching. Sorry it went a little long. Sorry not too much happened, but I think things are moving in our direction. I was able to explain the naming conventions, and I think that will help moving forward. Remember, if you are on the list, you can put a comment in this video, video 19, and say, hey, I've changed my mind. I don't want to be a, I don't know, magical flying salamander. Instead, I would like to be a magical flying turtle or something, and I will adjust accordingly. So this is like the part of the game where you get to re-roll if you would like to. Alright? And other than that, I hope you all are having a great one.